interesting gospel in that it's a red herring. Jesus isn't really interested in talking about being nice to your neighbor. He's talking about love of oneself, enough to see him in everyone we meet. If you don't love yourself, you can't very well love a neighbor, can you? If you loathe yourself, if you feel really insecure and inadequate, how are you going to reach out to others? Now, sometimes we have fallen into that wonderful trap of pretending to be all so terrible when in fact we just don't want to do it. But if we genuinely don't love ourselves, it's going to be a problem, isn't it? How do we love other people if we can't even accept ourselves? That's really the Good Samaritan. Having enough confidence that Jesus loves you, therefore you can love yourself with all your failings and imperfections. That's the key to this story. Not about whether or not somebody helped somebody else. I mean, there was that famous story, and maybe there was a photo. This would have been years ago, maybe almost 50. And it showed a man who had been mugged in New York on a street, and he's laying on the sidewalk, and the picture shows people just walking by. Just walking by. And then, of course, when that famous Rodney King video came out, where somebody had filmed it, and while that was good for evidence in that, these people who film these disasters and these horrible things, why isn't somebody rushing to aid them? This is really about self-love. If we don't feel confident about ourselves, we're certainly not going to rush over and help people, right? I remember I fell once, rather embarrassing. You know, when you fall, at first it's a shock, and then, you know, people are there, and all you see are their shoes, and they're looking at you like, you know, old man, are you all right? You know? I was more embarrassed than anything else, but it was interesting. Someone stopped and said to me, "May I help you?" I said, "Well, thank you, please," and asked, "Should I hold your arm? How do you want to get up?" Very attentive. I don't know if the person was a medical person or not, but a complete stranger who wanted to help me. And then I looked and I saw, well, I'd really scraped my hands, and he said to me, "You'll be okay." I needed that because I didn't realize how shook up I was by the fall. That was it. That was the encounter. A man who apparently felt confident enough to at least ask, to at least say, "Can I help?" Maybe this week we need to do that for ourselves. Do a little inventory of how we feel about ourselves. Have we fooled ourselves into thinking we're worthless? We're nothing. Have we fooled ourselves by comparing ourselves to other people and saying, well, they're obviously doing better than I am? No. And the key to knowing about self-love is in the first reading at the very end. You don't have to ask anybody for advice on how to be a good Christian. It's within you. Read that first reading again, especially the last line. It's within you. You don't need to learn about it. It's given to you. And today, I understand we're going to have 4 baptisms. And one of the things baptism does, believe it or not, it gives us that confidence and strength to be people of God, to be followers of Jesus. And now it's the duty of the parents to raise those children, always to remember they can do it. And now all we have to do is convince ourselves of that as well.